Welcome to a brand new episode of the Herrera podcast, you guys. Got a great guest for you today, Larry and His Flask. Got three of the guys, and it is a blast. So let's get them on the horn and make this thing happen. Here we go. We got the guys.
Hey.
So we got Jamin, we got Jeshua, we have Ian. Can you guys introduce yourselves just for the audience so it's easier as we go forward?
Yeah. Hey, it's Ian here.
Joshua.
I'm Jamin. I play drums in Larry and His Flask.
Yeah.
Rad. Yeah. So I know Ian plays guitar. Jeshua, what do you do?
Play upright bass.
That's right. Okay, I thought I recognized you in the videos, but it's sometimes you guys are moving so fast. It's hard to remember. Dude, where do we even begin? You know, I've talked to you guys over the years quite a bit. You guys are always class acts, and can we just start back? I know we were on the we had you on the podcast, Ian, but I want to go back to when we first met, which was, I want to say, and I could be wrong, but I want to say it was outside the Double Wide in Dallas, Texas.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first day of Warped Tour for us, I think. And then you were playing there with Against Me and maybe Lucero, maybe?
Yeah.
And we caught you outside, and then we busked a little bit, I think.
Yeah, that caught my attention, honestly. Like, I really dug the fact that you guys can just walk around the streets and play and really capture a moment. It really was a moment for me, you know, like there wasn't a lot of people out there. It was just like, just listening to you guys jam out, and it was like, wow, this sounds perfect. This is like, you know, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, you know, when they're on the one mic kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. It was our sincere hope that you or someone that was playing that night was going to stop and watch us play. And like, I remember the moment when you walked up and started, you were maybe one of two people standing there watching us play. And we were like, oh my God, dude, that's Mike Herrera. He's watching us play. And then we had a chance to, like, I think we said, hey, it was just real quick after we got done with the song. And then you had to go and do your thing. But we were so stoked. We were like, oh my God, he saw us.
It was rad. And we love doing that. You know, almost every time we stop and busk like that, we make a connection with somebody. Whether it's somebody in the music industry or just somebody like make a new fan or somebody's taking a video of it, it's always worthwhile. Like, it's always a lot of fun. And that's really, like, this modern incarnation of our band came about because of busking. Like, we did a lot of it in Bend. Nobody would book us. So we decided to say, screw it, we'll just play on the street. And we learned a lot. We learned how to grab a crowd. Even though they weren't expecting music.
Let's stay in that busking thing, because that really did seem to be your vehicle to promote your band. You know, like, everybody kind of has, like, somebody's really good at TikTok or something, like Simple Plan or something. Like, they're really good at those funny TikTok videos. But you guys have busking, and it was, you know, it was before, it wasn't like a new thing necessarily, but it also kind of was, because nobody was doing it in our scene, in our genre, or, you know, in the punk scene, in the Vans Warped Tour scene. Like, nobody's doing that kind of stuff. So, like, talk more about that, because that to me is interesting. And how, a little bit more about how you did transition from more electric back down into more acoustic, or were you already acoustic, but you're just like, we don't need the microphones, let's just go walk around? Like, what was that?
We started as electric punk band originally under the name Larry and His Flask. And then, I think it came from just being able to, like, be mobile and being able to like when everything dies and everything falls apart, we can still play music, you know? And I think that was like the whole thing. We can go anywhere, we can do this any place. And it was more about just bringing it to people rather than asking people to come to us. You know, it was like going to the source, like, let's go find a crowd of people and start playing and see what happens.
And we kind of took that, like Ian said, the punk rock like mentality of just like build your own like DIY, build your stage, build your venue. And what happened was like when we were a punk band, we had a drummer of our band. Jamin was like the lead singer at that point, and he had quit. And it kind of left us in the spot of like, what are we gonna do? And we still had like I think some shows booked, and we're like, well, we've been working kind of on these acoustic songs in a different format, kind of intermittently over a bunch of years, and we kind of took that moment to just like start doing it more acoustic, and then the reception was just like way better than our like punk reception ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild. That's wild.
I think it was also maybe like an even more like kind of universal style of music as well. You know, it was easier for more people to be into something that had a little more melody and a little bit more going on, you know, that was a little bit more palatable and so we got even more response from more people, but with the same energy that we always had as a punk band. And so it just kind of was like, it just snowballed, you know, we just kept doing it. And then, yeah.
Go ahead.
The wild energy was always a big thing for us between Ian and Jesse and I. When we started playing together, it's like jump around and go crazy, and also play as well as you possibly can at the same time. Because of bands like you guys, and back in the day there was Virus 9 in Oregon. There was a bunch of really good Oregon punk bands that went crazy, and we loved that, so we always kept that.
Yeah. I think that marriage between the traditional sounding instruments and the punk speed, punk attitude, a lot of fighting songs, a lot of like, hey, this bugs me kind of stuff. You know, like, yeah, that punk attitude. Yeah, I like that. And it works. It really works well with what you guys do. Can we, before we finish with busking, can we make it fun and go and talk about maybe how to busk? Like, is there a how to do it and how not to do it? Are there do's and don'ts of busking? And can we talk about it?
Yeah. I don't know if there's really don'ts. I don't know if we ever really knew how to do it the right way. Anyway, we have our way that we do it.
Okay, what's your way?
I mean, we just like ramrod into the middle of a bunch of people, you know?
Yeah.
He stands on his drum kit and just screams at everybody, and then we start playing.
Make a spectacle, right?
Yeah.
I've got some do's and don'ts real quick.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if the cops show up and they ask you to stop.
Or you go to jail. We found that out.
Yeah. Hide your open containers. Make sure people aren't spilling out into the street.
Don't block a walkway.
Yeah, don't block a walkway or a fire exit.
Smart.
We all learned all of these by trial and error. So we've done all these things. Yeah, we've been to jail. You know.
Yeah, and if you don't have a permit for electrified instrument, like if you have a little amp or a megaphone, then they can get you for that. They can fine you. So if you don't have anything electrified, most of the time you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, every city has their own rules, so it could be worth it to look that up ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, in what areas it's allowed or permitted, or some places are really like territorial, like places like Santa Fe, New Mexico is like you have to have a permit to be playing on there, and the street performers that are there all the time, like same thing with like Venice Beach, California, places like that, there'll be other street performers that will like, this is my block, like, not let you play, kind of type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a different game out there because that's their livelihood. That's what they do. And it's your livelihood too, but in a different, skewed, weird way, I guess. You know, you're just out there touring the world. But man, I've done it at Warped Tour a few times. Like when I was there acoustically on the underground stage or whatever the acoustic stage, I want to say it was like 2015, 2014 or something like that. And I basically just went on a thoroughfare. You know, I didn't block anything. It's like a giant walkway. But I would just start playing, and you would have, you know, it's just people don't know I'm going to be there. So they, you know, most of the people don't even know who I am. And then every now and then they're like, what? What's happening? You know, and then they will come up and take pictures and stuff. But it is kind of humbling to just be just another street musician out there in a way.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's one of those things where it was humbling to us too. And like to get to a point where we had the confidence just to go out and do it. Like when we first started doing it, it was like, it felt weird. It felt weird to go out there and be like, okay, here we go, you know, and then play. And then there was like, you know, no one would stop and watch us or anything, you know. It's like, yeah, I guess, cool, you know, try it again tomorrow, you know.
You got to start standing on that bass, start standing on that drum,
right.
do what you got. Yeah, you figure those things out.
The more the merrier. If the bigger band you have, the more chance you are that people will stop and look.
That is true.
Most of the time they're just going to work or going somewhere. They're not expecting that. So sometimes you have to kind of get in their way a little bit. And like Jesse will go out and play the bass right in front of somebody to stop them and wake them up a little bit. And most of the time it's really fun for everybody. Like most of the time they're not angry about it. They do wake up a little bit and they're like, wow, this is cool. You guys are singing harmonies and what are you doing out here? Who are you? You know, and it starts a conversation.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a bad situation from somebody who was passing by or somebody that was watching us. I don't remember anybody getting like upset at us. I mean, you know, they
can just walk away if they don't like it.
Yeah.
Just the other street performers on Venice Beach, right?
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
Is there a definitive story, something that happened, or is it mostly just attitude and just people getting you kicked out of places?
Yeah, I can't remember like an actual story of another performer situation. I just remember it being a tense atmosphere.
Yeah, they just come up and be like, hey, this is my spot, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, man, no problem. Like, we'll go over here. Like, we're not going to try to, like, start a fight with somebody that's there all the time. Like, we're just... one of actually the best stories was years ago, kind of when we started busking, I think it was like 08 or 09, we went to go see Gogol Bordello in Portland. And we started busking, and then this band called Chervona showed up because they were going to do the same thing, and they ended up just joining us. And then they turned out to be good friends with Gogol Bordello, like from back in Russia or Ukraine, and they got us, like, brought us in and introduced us to the band, and then we kind of formed a friendship with Gogol Bordello after that. Like, so that was one of the cool experiences.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah. That's cool. Wild things happen in Portland, man.
Yeah. No shit.
So what's happening these days? Like, what are you guys up to? I know, you know, you guys been doing a show or two, right? Like, you came back. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
we are.
Where do you want to start with that?
We are back. You know, we've been playing some shows. We did our first 3 shows in March. The first show's back after about 7 years off the road and disbanded for the most part during that entire time. And they were amazing. The shows were so much fun.
What's it like to put that thing back together? Do you like, all right, we got to put the cork back in the bottle or whatever it is? Like, it's not the same process, but
for me, I feel like I just left it up to the fates. You know, it was like, all right, we know we want to try this. Let's get in a room and we'll play the songs and then we'll see how we feel about it, you know? And it was instantaneous when we got together again and was like, this is fucking amazing. You know, like, this is incredible. We got to do this. Let's keep doing this, you know? And it just felt right again. And it wasn't like we had to recapture the magic. It was when we get together again, it just happens, you know? And it was just there again. And we picked the ball up and, you know, decided to run with it.
We started off by agreeing to 3 shows, and that 3 shows snowballed into 30 for this year. So we're a little less than halfway through, I guess, but we like he was saying, we got back together, and it was just like we grew up together. We know each other so well, and we lived together in a van, traveling all over the world, and it was like, man, you know, Ian and I talked about it a bunch, like all of us talked about it, and it's like this piece that we didn't really we didn't realize how big that piece that was missing from us was until we did the first 3 shows, and it was like, holy shit, being back on stage with these guys is what we need to do. This is it. This is the shit. So
Right. And like growing up, you know, learning so much about music and like and everything and the business and all that together, and then like, you know, taking a break apart, and I've played with like tons of different musicians, you know, we all have, and then like coming back in that room together, it's like something a connection that I don't have with anybody else, you know, the way that like Andrew and Jamin and I all play together. It's even after like 8 years without playing a note together in some ways, like it just like instantaneously clicked. I just thought like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and that comes with having played music together since we were in high school. You know, it's like I was 16 when I joined this band. You know, I went on my first tour that summer, you know, after my sophomore year of high school, you know, like down to Southern Oregon and all the way over to Phoenix or whatever through California. And like, our brains have literally developed around this band being a part of our lives. You know, it's like, so if that's not there, it's like there is literally something missing from our brain chemistry. You know, like we weren't even done growing yet when we were in this band. You know, you can relate, Mike, as well. I mean, with MxPx, I mean, you guys grew up together too, and like not to have that is so strange because it's just part of who you are.
Yeah. I mean, I know exactly how you feel about that, and I've been through it. And it's you guys got the dream team back, everything clicks. I think it's something that's even hard to explain, but I think you guys did a great job of explaining it. By the way, like I knew exactly what you meant. Man, welcome back. I mean that's the thing is like you. It's like when you come back to your hometown and you appreciate it in a new way after you've been around the world. That's you guys getting back together. You've been around the world, but it ain't the same, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. It was so huge to do the first show back in our hometown band, and man, the people came out for it. It was fantastic. Like the reception was huge, and everybody was so happy. You know, we all were so happy, and the crowd was so stoked, and it just felt really right, like the right move at the right time.
Just a big homecoming, you know. It was almost like a crazy high school reunion or something. Like the show, like it was people that I hadn't seen in, you know, years, literal, maybe decades. You know, like we're showing up to see us play again when we came back together, and it was just like, wow, a lot of people. This meant a lot to a lot of people, and it feels great to be back doing it again. And then we took that and we did those original 3 shows, and then we moved on and we did a handful of shows on the East Coast, and the Warped Tour in DC, and we got some more shows coming up on the West Coast, down California way, based around the Long Beach.
Yep, we'll be in
Warped Tour
this weekend.
Yep.
If people are listening as it comes out, but you know, people find it later. But that's amazing, and you know, the fact that you guys have been doing it and you're back strong. I saw you guys at Warped Tour in DC, right? Like, briefly, it was so hot, so insane.
Yeah, it was so hard.
Mind melting.
Just hearing you talk about that, Ian, though, the hometown show is what struck me. It's almost better. That experience, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it's probably better than headlining an arena in Pittsburgh or whatever. It's like, it's great that it's Pittsburgh, whatever.
Yeah.
But like your hometown with like people you haven't seen for like all those people going, those dudes are badass. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why we do things, but the experience of that is so unique. It's so, it's like the pinnacle of life in some ways.
Yeah, one thing that struck me, there was a comment, or somebody made some sort of comment after the show on Instagram or something like that, that it felt like Bend again, is what they said. And Bend is where we're from.
Yeah.
Bend, for those of you who don't know, we're from a town called Bend, Oregon. And this person said it felt like Bend again, like we had brought back some sort of vital spirit of the town that they felt had been missing or something, and it was like that just meant so much. It's like, oh my God, you know, and it just struck me.
I think that does mean so much to any artist out there. It doesn't matter how big or small, how long you've been doing it. You want to be at least respected in your hometown, in your home area where you started out, because that's sort of like those adolescent feelings of acceptance or rejection. You know, that's where it all begins.
Of course.
And so it's like, it's almost more important, you know, to have people love you or respect you in your hometown. So yeah, it's wild. And it's so often that you're hated, you know, when you become successful, when you go out there into the world, you know, the people that are back home are like, what's so special about these people, or, you know, of course that, you know,
we went through that.
Hey, every good band does, right?
Yeah.
That's what you just have to tell yourself, like, you're doing something right when you get some hate, right? Like, if you don't have any hate, people just don't care enough.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's funny. You're nobody until somebody hates you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the lesson today, people.
Welcome it.
Right on. Well, dude, thank you guys so much. It's been great. I feel like we've had a proper catch up. It's great to see you guys smiling, enjoying, love the stories. Is there anything we're missing? What do you guys got? I mean, you got lots of music. I would say, above all, you guys are such an amazing live band, and that's really where people connect with you so much. I mean, it's hard to connect that hard and that well with people on an album. You know, you have to just write the song, make the performance happen, and it's out of your hands in a lot of ways. But when you're live, you guys are really just boom, right there. And that's what I love about you guys. But what am I missing? What's next? How do we wrap this story up?
I mean, I think it's more just like we're continuing on. You know, it's like we have the rest of the year kind of planned. We're doing a handful of things. We're playing the Salty Dog Cruise with the Flogging Molly Cruise in October, at the end of the year ish, and then I think we're just gonna start trying to do a little more next year and see what happens. We're talking about new music as well, and we're kind of like, you know, thinking about dipping our toe back in and getting some new tunes out and just kind of seeing where it goes, kind of just follow the thread and see what happens.
Yeah, we're just, you know, going through everything we went through. We're just trying to like just have fun, do what we want to do, and just keep the like flame lit of the energy that the Flask has always been, and like keep it going in a smart, fun way, you know.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah.
Of course.
What's in the flask?
That's a great question.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out, actually.
Whatever you want to be in there, man.
Yeah.
I like to think that it's good times and fun and energy, high energy.
Yeah, that's where we keep that little spark that
to joy.
We keep that in the Flask.
I love it. That's a perfect answer. Perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Where can everybody find you?
Thanks, Mike.
Where can everybody find you real quick on socials?
Yes, at Larry and His Flask, everywhere. LarryandHisFlask.com.
Yeah, we're all the usual spots.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll do it. Well, thanks for doing it. You guys are welcome anytime. Of course, safe travels out there, and I'll see you guys on the road.
Cool. Thanks,
All
Mike.
right.
All right, peace.
Hey, buddy.
Bye.
Big shout out to Larry and His Flask, Jeshua, Jamin, and Ian. It was a great conversation. Had a great time. Thank you guys. Check out their socials. They'll be on tour. They'll be on the Salty Dog Cruise. They'll be on Warped Tour. Just check it out. All right, you guys. Appreciate it. As far as me, MxPx.com. We got merch. We got vinyl. We got all the good stuff. Of course, we're going to be at Warped Tour, Long Beach, California this weekend. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna be at all the Warped Tours. We're gonna be in Milan, Italy, September 5 for Punkadeca Festival. The summer is in full effect, you guys. Shout out to Bob McKnight for producing. Shout out to Christine Hall for producing. Appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace.